Welcome, everybody. How's everybody feeling today? Here on the very last day of this year. Do we have any special requests today? An inversion? Sure. All right, let's join Rita in Supta Baddha Konasana. So we're going to come to lie on the back, join the soles of the feet together, drawing the heels in towards the body, as close or as far as you'd like them to be to start. Let your arms come to rest in a comfortable position, wherever you'd like them to be right now. And just relax, let go for a moment. And if this becomes too intense of a stretch for your hips or inner thighs, know that you can always extend the legs straight or just simply lift the knees up and plant the soles of the feet flat. Just coming to a place of stillness. Trying to let go of the day that you've lived so far. Whatever you may have been doing this morning, up until this very moment, just let it go. And as today is December 31st, see if you can just slowly go back and let go of the year that's passed by. Whatever thoughts really linger there in your mind, just try to acknowledge them, set them aside. Just kind of pushing them away from you. You can pick them up and revisit them when you're leaving the space today. But for right now, let them go. Give them less attention, less importance, and devote that importance, that attention, to your breathing now. And start to deepen that breath. Start to lengthen that breath. And start to expand your lungs to their absolute fullest capacity. And when it feels as though you've expanded them to their absolute fullest, see if you can take that tiny little bit more air in and then slowly release the air, emptying the lungs. Once they're completely empty, squeeze every last bit of stale, stagnant air out, that last little bit more, and then just let the next inhale come in. And slowly expand the lungs, bottom to top, side to side, and even from front to back. Let's give those hips a little break. So on an inhale, let your knees come up, and if you straighten the legs, just bring the heels towards you. Take the arms and just extend them out to a T. So your feet are planted, heels close to the buttocks, knees are bent, arms are extended out to the sides. Press your palms down to the ground. Shift your hips a few inches to your left and let your knees fall over to the right, picking that left leg up and stacking it on top of that right leg. So those legs maybe aren't as high as they would normally go if you brought the knees into the chest before you came into the twist, but we're not warmed up yet. So let your head now turn all the way to the left, allowing your left shoulder to remain heavy on the ground as your chin moves over towards it. Try to keep that left shoulder. Palms can be up or down. And you may find that it was quite a bit easier to keep that left shoulder and your entire upper back firmly connected to the earth by leaving your feet on the ground as you let the knees travel over to the side. If having the left ankle and the left knee on top of the right ankle and the right knee is too much, know that you can always just slide that left foot down and place it behind the right one instead. That's an option as well. Take another full inhale. Complete the exhale. And then inhale, just lift the chin up, lift the knees up. Soles of the feet are rooted down. Let's pick up those hips. And as you move them back to center, then shift your hips a few inches over to your right side. So your feet are on the ground here. Your arms are still out to a T. Allow both your knees to just melt over to the left. Turn your head all the way to the right. Maybe you're stacking the right leg on top of the left, ankle over ankle and knee over knee, or maybe you're leaving that right foot just behind the left foot. We'll be revisiting our twists through the practice. So you don't need to make this one the deepest ever. Just exploring that first sort of stage to the twist and where the body resists, where it feels as though the body is open. Breathe into those places of resistance, tightness, and tension, and use your exhales to melt some of that away. Continuing to calm and quiet the mind with this long, deep breath. Taking one more full inhale. Complete the exhale, and then just inhale, lift the head up, let the knees come up. Walk those hips back into center. Draw your knees into your chest. Reach for the knees with your hands and just rock a few times from side to side. Rolling from hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder, ear to ear. One more time, side to side, and then roll to center. Squeeze your knees together. Inhale, lift your head, lift your shoulders, and extend your arms straight out in front of you. Turn your palms to face each other. Relax the shoulders down away from the ears and see if you can extend the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling. If that is too much, rebend the knees as they were. Keep trying to reach those fingers forward, maintaining that long, deep breath. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, bend the knees, lower your head down, reach for the knees with your hands and rock from side to side. You're starting to wake up the core, creating a little bit of heat there, a little bit of fire. Burning away that tension and stress. And as we come back to center, squeeze those knees together. One more time, inhale, lift the head. Lift the shoulders, extend and reach the arms. Pull the shoulders down, draw the belly in, and now send the soles of the feet up. Try to press the backs of those knees open. Keep those shoulders relaxed and down. Keep extending and reaching forward through those fingers. Try not to let your breath change. Take another inhale so you can come up a little higher, reach a little further forward, and then exhale, bend the knees, lower your back, your head, reach for your knees, rock side to side. Now you can continue to rock from side to side, or you can come to center, transfer the grip to the back of your thighs, and roll the length of your spine up and down. Making sure that if you're rolling up and down the length of the spine, that you keep the chin tucked in and protect your neck. If you're rolling side to side, roll all the way over to the right. Coming all the way up. If you're rolling back and forth, rolling right up to seated. Taking your hands onto the backs of your thighs, squeeze your legs together. So stay on the flat surface of your mat. Lift those feet. Lift those arms if it's available. Squeeze those legs together. Lift the heart. Relax those shoulders down and away from the ears. Can you inhale those toes even higher? Exhale, cross your legs. Plant your palms on either side of your hips. Can you lift yourself up and lower yourself down? Lift those legs. If you need to hold the legs with the hands, hold them. Maybe you can extend the arms out. Breathing here in Navasana, boat pose. Try to inhale those toes up even higher. Exhale, cross your legs the opposite way. Plant your hands. Lift up and release down. So some of you might be able to lift your whole body up, including the feet. One more round of boat. So you can hold the legs. You can extend the arms. Squeeze between those shoulder blades. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. How high can you lift those toes? One more inhale, lift everything. Cross your legs. Plant your hands, step back, top of a push-up, and press up and back to downward dog. First one, start to walk it out. Walking those heels up and down. Head is relaxed. Try to just let it hang. Big toes are turned ever so slightly in, so your feet are parallel. Press both heels down now at the same time. Keep those hands nice and wide as your shoulders. Grip with your fingers, push the floor away. Keep trying to press those heels down. On the inhale, rise high on the toes, soften the knees and look forward, and start to tiptoe your feet to your hands. Come up halfway as you inhale, and fold your chest towards your thighs as you exhale. Inhale again, come up to that flat back and lengthen. Exhale, fold, tuck the chin. Inhale, lengthen the spine, look out in front of you, grab your calves or your ankles, pull yourself down, and breathe here. Flare the elbows, draw the shoulders back, away from the ears. Breathe as deeply as you can. Chin is tucked, neck is long. Lift the hips away from the heels. Release your fingers to the ground. Crawl those hands forward, away from your feet. Lifting the chest. Try to keep the weight equal between the heels and the toes, pressing into the right foot. Inhale, lift your left leg up behind you. Push the heel back. Spread your toes. So keep that left foot in a flexed position, kneecap and toes pointing straight down to the ground. See if you can inhale that left leg even higher. As you exhale, walk your hands back so you can take a big step back with that left foot. Land up on the toes. Walk your right foot out to the right a bit as you wiggle that left foot back if it's possible, making sure that in between your 2 feet, there's 2 of your own fist distance width. So how far back can you get that left foot? How low can you sink those hips? Pulling the right hip back, shifting that left hip forward. Look forward. Press your left leg as straight as you can get it. Melt both your hips down towards the ground at the exact same time. Keep the shoulders drawing back away from those ears. Take another full inhale. Exhale, look down, bending the left knee. Take a big step forward with the left foot and fold over your legs. Inhale to a flat back. Crawl those fingers forward away from the feet. Pressing down through the left foot now, we inhale, lift the right leg up. Flex the foot, level your hips out, spread your toes. Breathe as deeply as you can. The chin is moving forward away from the chest, extending the crown of the head across the room as you push that right heel back behind you. Take another inhale, lift the right leg a little higher. As you exhale, walk your hands back and step that right foot way back. Adjust your feet hip distance so the left foot can walk out to the left. Continue to wiggle that right foot further and further back. Dropping into that low, deep lunge. Left knee over left ankle. Trying to sink your hips down to the height of that bent left knee if you can. Try to let your left knee remain right over top of that ankle though. Try not to let it bend beyond that. Pull the shoulders down, away from the ears. Keep the neck long. Press that right leg as straight as you can. So press the back of your right thigh right up towards the ceiling. Take another deep breath in. As you exhale, looking down, bend that right knee. Take a big step forward with the right foot and fold over your legs. Hold here, Uttanasana, breathe. Good, let's come up into Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up and lengthen. Exhale, grab those ankles or calves and now make it an active forward fold. Breathe here through the nose, shoulders pulling up and back away from the ears. Try to let your toes take just as much weight as those heels. So tuck in that chin a bit. Good, let's release the grip, plant the palms, walk, step, or hop to the top of a push-up. So in your plank pose, your shoulders are over your wrists. You can modify to the knees, but maintain that tucked tail and stay on those toes rather than letting the tops of the feet rest. Try to press the space between your shoulder blades up towards the ceiling, puffing up that upper back just a little bit. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, lower slow, shoulders and hips at the same time, and then curl into your Cobra. So making sure those hands are right beside your chest. Fingers are behind the tops of your shoulders. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Stretch your toes as far back behind you as you can. Breathe deeply in through the nose, out through the nose. Take another inhale, come up just a bit higher. Exhale, forehead down, curl your toes under. Inhale to the top of a push-up and press back to downward dog. Lift the hips up and try to press those heels down. Make sure your wrist creases are straight lines parallel with the top edge of your mat. Breathe in and breathe out, slow and steady. On the inhale, lift your right leg up behind you. Flex that right foot and try to spread those right toes. Both arms are straight and strong. Try to relax your head here. Inhale, lift that right leg even higher, and then take a really big step forward with that right foot and try to get the right foot directly in between those two hands. Walking the right foot closer to the right hand, wiggle that left foot further and further back. Now try to press the left leg up towards the ceiling. If you need a modification here, know that the left knee can come down to the ground, making sure that your right foot and your left foot or knee are hip distance width apart. Left hand comes in a bit closer. Shoulder is over wrist now. Stay on those fingerprints, and on an inhale, let that right arm come out and lift it all the way up. Spiraling that chest, open to the right. Looking out to the right. Keep gathering those left fingerprints in towards one another, pushing the floor away from you through that hand. Slow that breathing down. If it's a struggle to breathe deeply on the left toes, know that you can set the knee down and maybe that you can find that breath again. Take one more inhale, reach for the ceiling. As you exhale, lower your hand down. Bring your hands back to shoulder distance. Come off the left knee if you're on it with both palms planted flat. Step the right foot back to meet the left and press back to downward dog. Make sure that your feet can both fit in between your hands and your wrists are straight. Fingers spread wide. Breathe deeply. So the head is relaxed, the neck is long, and on an inhale, the left leg now rises. Flex that left foot. Spread those toes. Try to keep pressing that right heel down towards the ground at the same time. Both arms are straight and strong. Inhale that left leg even higher, and now big step forward, controlled movement. Left foot in between the hands, walk it out to the left. Start to wiggle that right foot further and further away. If you need the modification, the knee can come down. Right hand coming in a bit closer to that inner left foot. On an inhale, the left arm sweeps out and all the way up. Spiraling that chest, open to the left. Keep pressing into that left big toe, that inner left heel, keeping knee over ankle. If you're still up on the back toes, keep trying to press the back of that right thigh up towards the ceiling. Bend that left knee directly over that ankle. Inhale, reach even higher. Exhale, and the left arm comes down. Now this time as you move your right hand out to the right, take a big step forward with your right foot and fold over your legs. Breathe deeply in and out through the nose. Uttanasana, our standing forward bend. Give the head a little shake as though saying no. And then you can give it a little nod as though you were saying yes. And then let the head be heavy. Let's press down through the feet. Little tiny bend in the knees. Let's on an inhale, circle the arms out and all the way up. Lift the chin, look up. Exhale, look forward and just pull the shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale, extend through those fingers and lean to your right as you exhale. Try to keep the upper arms gently hugging in towards the sides of your head without lifting the shoulders up towards the ears. Maybe you can turn your head a bit to the left, looking out to the left. So you should be looking in front of your arm rather than looking behind the arm. Maybe just in front of the upper arm, maybe up by the elbow, maybe looking up by that left wrist. Inhale now through center, look forward, pull the shoulders down. Take another inhale, extend through those fingers, and then lean to your left. Hug the arms in, turning that head a little bit to the right. Looking out towards that wall to your right, maybe just in front of the upper arm, maybe up by the elbow, maybe all the way up towards the wrist. On the inhale, come back up slowly. Draw the shoulders down as you tuck the tailbone. Let's inhale, lift the chin. Exhale, lean the upper body back as you push the hips forward. The buttocks are engaged. This protects the low back. Keep pushing the hips forward. Keep reaching back behind you. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach forward now, soft knees, fold all the way down. Now, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Separate your feet to a hip distance width. Grab onto those big toes with your first two fingers and your thumbs. Press into the tip of the toe right at the toenail. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, pull yourself down. Tuck the chin. Looking back through the legs. Pulling up on the toes with the fingers. Pushing those toes firmly down. Now lift your hips away from your heels. Tuck the chin. The back of the neck stays long. Imagine you could pull yourself right in half, drawing the crown of the head down towards that space between those big toes or inner arches. Keep lifting your hips up towards the ceiling above you. One more inhale. Pull yourself to your deepest place as you exhale, and then inhale. Look forward and lengthen. Let's release the toes, heel-toe the feet together. Plant the palms. Walk, step, or hop back to the top of a push-up and hold your plank here. So try to keep your shoulders forward. Try not to lift your hips higher than your shoulders. You want your body in a straight line like a plank of wood. If you need the modification, the knees would come down, but the shoulders are going to stay forward right over those wrists. Try not to twist those wrists at all. Keep them straight. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, lower slowly. Elbows hug the sides, and now inhale. Send the chin forward, untuck the toes, lift through the back of the head. Hands are back behind those shoulders. Elbows hug in. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Squeeze those legs together. Keeping your chest lifted, send your arms back like jet airplane wings. Hands are lifted off the ground. Arms are angled slightly away from the body, so turn your palms down, thumbs pointing out. Lift both those legs now if it's available. If it's too much, keep them down. Squeeze the legs together. Balancing there on the belly or the hips as you lift everything else away from the ground. Take one more inhale, come up, up, up. Exhale, lower slowly, forehead down, hands next to your chest. Press up to your hands and knees with complete control. Good, let's tuck the toes. Press up and back to downward facing dog. Press the heels down. Push the chest back. Big toes ever so slightly turned in. Inhale, lift the right leg up behind you. Take a big step forward with that right foot. So two different options. You can do this pose with the left foot flat, planted on a 45, or if you really want to play with your balance, you can stay on the ball of the left foot. So crescent lunge, or crescent warrior, or full warrior. On the inhale, let's come all the way up. Upper body, arms float up, shoulders pull down. Let those hips melt down if you're on the back toes. If you've planted the left foot flat, try to straighten that left leg. Press the back of that left knee open. As you lift the chin, see if you can look up, maybe between the palms. Keep pressing into that right big toe, that inner right heel. Find your edge. And if you want to challenge yourself even more, the option is there to close the eyes. And the ultimate challenge would be transitioning with the eyes closed as well. So take another inhale. Exhale, circle the arms down. Plant both palms and step back into your downward dog. Pressing the heels down, pushing the chest back. So if you're working in that challenging way of keeping the eyes closed, you can do it as you move into the pose as well. That makes it really tricky. So on an inhale, lift your left leg up. Step your left foot forward. So whatever you did on the other side, whether you moved into Virabhadrasana Warrior 1 or a Crescent Warrior, wait for the inhale and let the arms slowly come up. Find your edge. Relax those shoulders down, away from your ears. Try to move the chest back. Lift the chin. Expose the throat. So turn your palms to face each other. Pull those shoulders down away from the ears. Try not to let those elbows bend. Maybe your eyes are closed. One more inhale. Exhale, circle the arms down, plant the palms. Step back to downward dog. Breathe deeply. One more inhale. Exhale, set your knees down. Knees together, bring your feet together, keep your toes curled under, and walk your hands back towards your knees, trying to lower your buttocks towards your heels. So this is a stretch for the toes. Maybe you do this all the time. You're already sitting on your heels and it feels really easy. So maybe then you walk your hands up onto your thighs. If you do this one all the time, this might be fairly easy. Maybe you're going to take your hands back behind you, lean even more weight back into those toes. So find your edge. Where is that today? Close your eyes there in that space. Sending your breath down to those feet. Toes, the arches, maintaining that long, deep breath. If you've leaned back into your hands, on an inhale, slowly come back up, hands to your thighs. Let's release those hands to the ground and walk them forward. So you're in more of a table position, but the knees are still together. As we lift the toes up off the ground, point your toes back behind you, and now flex your feet and spread your toes. Point and flex, spread the toes. One more time, point, flex the feet, spread the toes. Now, relax the tops of the feet onto the ground. Slide those hands back and try to sit right back onto those heels. How low can you go today? So maybe you aren't able to sit on your heels, so that's your goal, slowly trying to work those hips down. Maybe you're sitting right there. Can you lean back into your hands and peel those knees up, stretching out the tops of the feet even more? Maybe you can balance there. Maybe you don't even need the hands. They possibly can come to your thighs or to your heart. Take another inhale, so you can lift those knees just a bit higher, and then release the knees down, release your hands down, and just move your hips from side to side. Little massage across the tops of the feet. Maybe it feels good to move the toes around a little bit. Come back to center. Sorry, I got a toe cramp. We're going to keep those hands now shoulder distance apart, just in front of our knees. So look at the distance your hands are wide width-wise, and you're going to estimate a point in front of you that's the same distance forward away from the hands as the hands are wide width-wise. So you're creating an equilateral triangle. And on that point in front of you, you're going to lower the top of your head. And as the top of your head comes down onto the ground, so make sure your head is far enough forward. So Jade, widen your hands. Nicole, you too. Bring your head forward as well. So Jade, your hands come back though and go wider. Yep. Hug your elbows into shoulder distance. You're trying to roll right onto the top of your head. So not on your forehead, but the crown of your head. This might be enough for some of you. Others might want to try and go further. As you push firmly into your hands, pull the shoulders away from the ears, curl your toes under, lift your knees off the ground. Walk your feet towards you. Try to bring your hips straight up over top of those shoulders. Maybe you can take those knees and rest them on the backs of your arms. So you want to straighten out your legs to get those hips as high as you can. So Vadim, bring your hands forward a little bit for me. Yep, so elbows are right over wrists. Beautiful. Try to straighten the legs out a little bit, lift those hips higher and higher. Keep walking those feet closer and closer as you can. When you eventually get to the point where the knees rest quite easily on the arms and the heels come towards the buttocks, the big toes together, you might even be able to start to lift the knees away from the arms. And you may be able to slowly extend your legs up into a full headstand in a tripod position. But there's so many little steps to get us to that point. So we're very patient and careful. We never jump into poses. We make sure that we're safe at all times. Now, if you took those legs up, bring them back down onto the arms. Do you have the ability to shift more of the weight back into those hands and get to the point where your head can peel up away from the ground? Good try. Good. Let's take it all the way back into child's pose now. So untuck the toes, let your hips fall back towards those heels. Let your upper body rest, let your head come down. Support the head with the hands if necessary, and just breathe here. Relax. So even if you just had your head on the ground the entire time through that posture and didn't go any further, you were still in an inverted state, turning the body upside down, getting the head lower than the heart. So we never come out of our inversions too quickly. Hands to either side of the head now. Push into those palms and inhale. Slowly come up. Sit over to one side. Let your legs come around. Extend those legs straight out in front of you. And then open your legs up, wide apart. So you may like a little lift underneath the edge of the seat. That might be just a tiny lift of a blanket or your rolled up mat. What we're trying to avoid doing is tucking the tail and pointing the tailbone ahead of us. So imagine if you actually had a tail attached to your tailbone. I want you to think about your tail going back behind you rather than pointing forward in front of you. So the toes point straight up, so do the kneecaps. The shoulders come back right over those hips. Ears back over those shoulders. Hands come down to the ground, just in between those legs. Push out through the heels. Continue to breathe deeply. So it shouldn't be too much of a struggle to sit up straight. So if it is, you can always kind of bring those legs in a little closer, because now we're going to try to hinge from the hips and come forward. So inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head. Start to crawl your fingers forward as you let your heart come forward through the upper arms. Don't let those toes fall back or fall forward. Keep them pointing straight up. So when you can't get your chest possibly any further forward, let your chin melt towards your chest. Let your head just totally relax. Let your eyes close. Keep sending that heart forward away from the navel area. Try to keep extending the navel area forward away from the pubic bone. Breathing into those tight spaces within your own body. Keep engaging those legs. Quads are active. Keep pulling the toes back. Breathing into those hamstrings, inner thighs, muscles through the groin, maybe even through the low back if it's tight there. Inhale, lift the chin. Pausing as you exhale, let's inhale, walk those hands slowly back in. Now let's bring the legs together. Again, remove the flesh from underneath those two sit bones. Pull all 10 toes back, shoulders back, neck long. Let's inhale, lift the arms up. And as you exhale, begin to fold forward. Lead with the chest here as well. So when you can't come any further forward with your chest, start to lower your arms down. What can you grab with a bend in your elbows? Big toes, outer edges of the feet, ankles, outer edges of the calves, maybe up closer to the knees. Once you've got a grip with the bend in both arms, the biceps start to engage as you pull yourself forward, and then relax the head all the way down. Close your eyes. Breathing here in Uttanasana, our seated forward bend. Breathe deeply. Breathe slowly in and out through your nose. How close to your toes can that heart area get? How close to your heart can you pull those toes back? Feeling that stretch right up at the back of the legs into those buttocks. Inhale, lift the chin. Exhale, reach across the room. Inhale, come all the way up. And as you exhale, circle those arms all the way down. Let's release down onto the back. Arms at the sides, palms pressing down. Let's inhale, draw the knees into the chest. Exhale, pop the hips up. And drop the legs right over your face. Walk your hands towards one another, trying to wiggle those elbows in. Know that if bringing yourself into plow is too much, then you can always just lift both legs up. So once you've brought your hands in as close to one another as you can get them, Bending at your elbows, try to plant your hands on your back on either side of your spine. Legs are still close to your face. Wiggle your elbows in as much as possible. Now, on an inhale, lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. How high can you lift the right leg without moving the left? Take another inhale here. Exhale, lower the right leg down. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Try not to move the right leg. Don't turn the head. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, lower it down. Beautiful. Take another inhale and exhale here. And let's inhale, lift both legs up. I don't usually do that one that way. Sorry for the confusion. Now, how high can you get those legs up? How high up the back can you walk your hands? Pushing those hips further and further forward. Good. Start to relax your feet a little bit. Relax your legs a bit, the buttocks, the back, the belly. Let everything work equally without engaging one part more than the other. Keeping those legs somewhat relaxed so any pooling blood can be pulled by gravity back towards the heart. Wiggling your toes a little bit to encourage some lymphatic drainage. And then point your toes. Flex your feet. Point. Flex. One more time, point your toes and flex your feet. And then rotate those feet around the ankle joint, going in one direction. And then reverse and go the other way. Coming back to center. Legs relaxed. Take one more deep breath in. Exhale, lower your right leg over your face. Try to keep that left leg up in the air. Inhale, bring that right leg up to meet the left. And then exhale, let that left leg come down slowly with control. Keep supporting the back with your hands. Inhale, lift that left leg up. And now let's lower both legs all the way over the face. Hands remain on the back. If and when the toes touch down to the ground, the hands can then touch down to the ground as well. You can walk the hands towards each other. The option is also there to clasp the hands, rolling one shoulder at a time even further underneath you, really pressing the length of both arms down. So if interlacing your fingers is causing your wrist area to pull away from the ground, separate your palms, press them down to the ground. If those toes are hovering, keep your hands supporting your back. Take another deep breath in. Exhale completely. Now, if your hands are interlaced, separate them. We're going to start to lower the upper back down to the ground. Try to keep your legs close to your face and keep them straight. So your toes will eventually leave the ground. Start to lower the spine one vertebra at a time. Try not to let your head come away from the ground. Coming down through the mid-back, using those hands like brakes, all the way down to that low back. And then that tailbone touches down. Press the soles of your feet up to the sky. And then lower both those legs with control. Walk your feet towards you. Plant your heels right in front of the buttocks, separating your feet hip distance width. Arms hug the sides. Press that low back down to the ground by tucking the tailbone. Inhale, let your hips rise up. How high can you lift those hips? Make sure that your feet are separated at a natural hip distance and they're still parallel to each other. Try to keep your knees right over top of your ankles, lifting your hips as high as you can. Can you walk your hands towards each other again? If your thumbs easily come together, it might be an easy stretch for you to then interlace your fingers. Make a fist with your hands. Draw your elbows towards each other now, rolling right up onto those triceps, high up onto those shoulders, and then press the length of both arms down to your mat. Keep lifting those hips up, pushing your chest towards your chin. Setu Bandhasana, this is our bridge. Push down through those big toes, those inner heels. Try to engage your thighs more than your glutes. One more inhale. Exhale completely. Now inhale, come onto your toes, send your arms to a T and lower your back slowly. One vertebra at a time, and then the heels come down. Send the arms out to a T. Keeping your heels where they are, but widen your feet now until you feel the edges of your feet just at the edges of your mat, letting your knees fall in towards each other. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let both your knees come over to the right now as you turn your head to the left, rolling onto the outer edge of your right foot and the inner edge of your left foot. Relax the arms. Soften the face. Relax the jaw. And breathe into that whole left side of the body. Breathing into that left lung, that left hip, down the side of the leg, through the low back. Take another inhale. Complete the exhale. Inhale, head and knees come up. And now legs to the left, head turns to the right. Breathe. Relax the body. Try to maintain closed eyes as best you can, keeping your focus inward, less concerned with what happens around you, within the space, even outside the room. Breathing into that right side, front of the right hip, down the side of that right leg. On your next inhale, let your head and your knees come back up. And as you heel-toe your feet together, turn your palms down to the ground and draw your knees towards your chest. Keep pushing your palms down. Arms are still straight out at shoulder height. Flex your feet and spread your toes. Try not to lift your hands higher than your shoulders, though. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, letting those legs move over to the right as you turn your head to the left. And before your left shoulder leaves the ground, simply set your feet down. Relax both arms. Try to relax the entire body. Take a few deep breaths before you work at going further or taking it to a new place. Try to hang out here, observe, check in, notice how you feel. Once the body perhaps starts to open, relaxing a bit, you can draw the knees closer to the chest or closer to that right arm. Maybe you want to add the weight of that right hand or arm, placing it on the outside of that left leg, by the knee or up a little higher. This isn't to push the legs down, it's simply to add a little bit of weight there from that arm and hand, helping gravity pull you perhaps a little deeper into the pose. Try to relax now through the low back, mid back, upper back, through the shoulders and the neck, relaxing along the entire length of your spine as you twist, manipulate, and massage the visceral organs, tissue. One more inhale. Full, complete exhale. Right hand comes down. On the inhale, let your head and your knees come up, knees coming into the chest, pausing there at the top. Take another deep breath in. Exhaling now the legs to the left as the head turns to the right. And before your right shoulder lifts, set your feet down, relax, and just breathe. Hands a little lower than the shoulders, encouraging shoulders down and away from the ears. Palms can be up or down, your choice. Take a few deep breaths, giving yourself time to acclimatize. Maybe the body has begun to relax. The ability is there to draw the knees in a little closer to the chest or up higher towards that left arm. Maybe you want to add the weight of that left hand to the outside of that right knee or thigh. Keeping that right shoulder and right shoulder blade heavy on your yoga mat. Breathe deeply, twisting, manipulating, massaging, focusing that massage to the low left side of the abdomen now. Massaging the digestive organs, the reproductive organs, the kidneys, the adrenals. One more full inhale. Exhale, let all that air go. Let your left hand come down, turn both palms down, and re-engage those legs. Let's inhale through to center. Reach up for the knees with your hands. Squeeze those knees tightly into your chest. And now inhale, draw that forehead or chin up towards the knees, and make your body compress it into a tiny, tiny little ball. Start to engage every single muscle, just in case there's one little muscle somewhere that we haven't touched on in this practice. So squeeze the feet, the legs, the buttocks, the back, the arms, the neck, the face, the scalp. Inhale, hold the breath, squeeze, 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 and then release the breath and make yourself ready for your final pose. Shavasana. So maybe you're good just as you are, and you're just going to extend the legs and the arms down on those 45-degree angles. Maybe you're covering up. Maybe you're placing a pillow over the eyes, a blanket over the body, socks, whatever you need. Coming into this posture as quickly as you can so you have as much time in it as possible, because it really truly is the most important pose of your practice. It's where all the magic happens. It's where everything sinks in. Any fatigue the body is experiencing, released away. We come out of the pose refreshed and renewed. So just start to sink heavily into the pose. Heavy through the heels and calves. Heavy through the buttocks, the backs of the hands, shoulders, upper back, the back of your head. Just let your body sink now. Start to relax your throat. Start to relax your breath. Try to breathe without a lot of effort, doing your best to give your lungs and your heart the same time to relax that you're giving to the rest of your body. So your heart and your lungs, they can't stop working, but you can ask less of them by breathing a little bit more shallowly. Not to the point where you feel stressed that you're not getting enough oxygen. Just breathe naturally. Try not to focus on the breath. Try not to focus on your thoughts. Try not to focus on your body. Just be. Be here. Now, in this moment, in this space, taking rest, relaxing completely. sound draws you back. Come back to your body and begin to deepen your breath. Breathing life back into your limbs. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Start to circle the hands and feet around those wrist and ankle joints as you turn your head ever so slowly from side to side. Being sure to circle those hands and feet in both directions. And then let your head roll back to center. Slide your legs together. And take a deep breath in. Stretch your arms over your head, lengthening, stretching, reaching. And then relax and let the arms sweep down to your sides. Using the strength of your core, slowly pull your knees into your chest. Rock a few times from side to side, and then just roll all the way over onto your right side. And relax here for a moment. In this posture of new beginnings and fresh starts. So we have this ability to begin again after every yoga practice. We can begin every day when we wake up. We can begin again when we move into a new year as well. That's the beauty of this life. We have choices, we have options, and you made the choice to be here, spending some quality time on yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So thank yourself for taking that time for you. Send a silent thank you out into the space to those who came to join you here in person today. And you can even think about in the future, maybe when this class is posted online, the people that will join you out in the ether. Press down through your left hand, press down through your right elbow, and with your eyes still closed, make your way up to seated and sit comfortably. And just observe and notice the state of your body, the state of your mind, your emotional state. Has there been a shift? Subtle or otherwise? Let's seal in all that work that we've done today, bringing the palms together, the hands to the heart, ending our practice with the chanting of Om one time. You can join in or just listen if you prefer. Full inhale. Bowing the chin towards the chest, and then bowing the forehead towards the floor. Hands can support you if needed. Sealing in the work that you've just done and letting it go now until the next time. The divine light within me sees, acknowledges, and bows before that divine light within each of you. Namaste. Happy Friday. Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing your energy here today. If you have any questions about anything we did, please let me know.